Hi everybody, Paul here from Onwards and Upwards. So I didn't go hiking today, so I wanted to use the time to throw together a video about what I put in my backpack. There's a lot of these videos going around on YouTube, and I watch them all because watching them, you pick up a lot of tips and tricks and things that you might have missed, as well as learning yourself about the items that you need to be taking with you when you're going out hiking, whether it be a long day hike, a short hike, etc, etc. And also I had a couple of comments a couple of weeks ago when we did the Rocky Peak Ridge hike from people that were asking me what was in my pack, because they thought it was a large pack for the fact that we were just day hiking. Somebody asked if we were actually camping and where we were camping, and seemed pretty shocked when I said that we're not, and that my pack was just a day hike pack. Now, the pack I've got on today, this one is my standard. It's a 44 litre pack, and it's a standard pack that I use for long day hikes. And when I say long day hikes, I mean down in the Adirondacks, deep into the wilderness areas where you're quite a way away from civilization. We're going to be out, definitely going to be out up to and over 10 hours. We're putting a lot of mileage in, anything from 10 miles upwards to 20 miles, even further. So that's why I choose this particular pack. Now, when we're doing the smaller hikes in conservation areas, provincial parks, things like that, I'll use a smaller pack, round about 20 litres. And in winter, or if we're planning to go out on an overnighter, then I'll up it to about a 60 litre pack. So this one, like I said, is the essential, my bog standard pack basically for 3-season hiking. So spring, summer, and the autumn. So I'm going to go through the contents of this particular pack now, and bear in mind, like I said, it's for long day hikes where I'm expecting to be out pretty much all day, and I'm quite far into the wilderness, so I'm away from civilization. I'm not just a phone call away. I've got gear in here that's going to see me through that day hike and see me through the night if needed. So it's not a pack that's planned for an overnighter, but if worst case scenario I need to spend the night outdoors, I can do comfortably. So let's take a look at what's in this pack. So as I said, this is my bog standard pack for hiking in the Adirondacks, or, well, not just the Adirondacks, anywhere that's going to be up to definitely over 10 hours, the long hikes where I'm quite far from civilization, so I'm not just a quick phone call away, or just an hour or two's walk back to the car. Everybody's different. What you pack in your pack, the kind of pack you take your equipment in, is entirely up to you. There is no right or wrong, and one of the things I always say is if you're willing to carry it, carry it. There's a lot of people out there that swear by ultralight hiking and they want all the lightest gear. It makes sense, but I'm not one of these people that's going to get out the kitchen scales and start weighing the weight of my plastic cup compared to the weight of my little metal cup, for example. If I've got a cup to make a hot drink in, then I'm good to go. I don't care if it weighs, half a gram more or whatever. I'm not going to be doing all that stuff. The stuff that I take, I'm willing to carry, and as long as you're willing to carry it, and as long as you've got the 10 essentials covered, then that's all that really matters. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way. The 10 essentials are now covered by a system these days. It used to be a bog standard classic kit, and the 10 essentials used to be map, compass, sunglasses, sunscreen, extra clothing, headlamp or flashlight, first aid supplies, a fire starter, matches, knife and extra food. That was the old classic list. That's been recently updated, so now what we go off is the 10 essentials systems. And the systems are navigation, so that includes your map and your compass, sun protection, insulation, which is your extra warm clothing, illumination, your head torch, flashlight, first aid supplies, fire, such as waterproof matches, a lighter, flint, steel, all that kind of stuff, repair kit and tools, nutrition, which is your extra food, hydration, and your extra water supplies and all that, and emergency shelter, which can be anything from a garbage bag to a tarp to a tent to a poncho, anything like that. So that's the systems, and that's what we're going on. And as long as those 10 essentials are covered, what else you take in your pack is entirely up to you. So starting from the outside of my pack, what I normally take with us, I've made myself a pace counter, which on the Hike and Survive channel, if you go across to the Hike and Survive channel, I'm going to be doing a video on how to make one of these and how to use it. It's a pace counter, also known as ranger beads. That's always attached to the outside of my pack. This pack and the other packs I use, that's always going to be on the outside. So on the outside here then, I've got sunglasses, which will be, I hang them there so I can take them on and off as and when needed, all year long. A lot of people, they forget to take sunglasses with them when they're hiking in the winter because they think it's winter, it's not going to be hot and sunny, probably don't need sunglasses. Well, yes you do, because the sun still comes out in the winter and it might not be hot, but you can surely get snow blindness if you're not wearing sunglasses, as the sun bounces off the snow there. So sunglasses on the outside. The outside pouches here, they're water bottle pouches. Now, if I'm going into an area where there is no water source, then what I'll do is I'll take extra water with us. What I've got in here right now, and it's what I normally do, if I'm hiking in an area that's surrounded by lakes, rivers, streams, ponds, etc., etc., a good water source, then rather than taking more water, I'll take a water filter. So I can carry less water, because water is the most dense object or item that you're going to be carrying in your pack. So to take less means that your pack's going to weigh a lot less. So I'll take a water filter with us. If, like I said, I do my research and I'm going into an area where there are little water sources, and a good example of that is once you get up to elevation on the Dix range in the Adirondacks, there is no known water source. So if you're hiking up there in the summer and you're exerting a lot of energy, you're going to be drinking a heck of a lot of water, because it's a long, arduous trail and it's going to be hot, so you're going to be drinking a heck of a lot of water. So I would then take an extra couple of litres of water, put them in the pouches either side. But my main source of water that I always take with us is a Camelback, a hydration pack, which slips down into the gap here on the pack, and I can drink as and when I need to. The only time I'll probably not take the hydration pack is in the winter on extremely cold days. I may take a hydration pack on some hikes during the winter. It all depends on the temperature, because you can get a lot of problems with the water freezing in the tube. A good trick if you do use a hydration pack in the winter in sub-zero temperatures is to blow the water back in once you've had a drink, and make sure there's no excess water left in the tube, and it'll help prevent blockage in the tube. But what normally I'll do is I'll take a wide-rimmed, wide-mouthed Nalgene bottle, put it in some form of insulation. I have an insulated pouch that I carry it in. Alternatively, you can put ones inside your pack, your extra water. Use an old wool sock to keep the bottle insulated. And another trick would be to store the bottle upside down, because the water inside the bottle will freeze from the top downwards. So if you store the bottle upside down, then the bottom of the bottle will freeze first. So then when you go to drink from the bottle, you've got water at the top and there's no blockage, and you don't have to try and break the ice off the top. But hopefully the water won't freeze in the first place. So that's most of the stuff on the outside. Oh, sorry, one more thing. Just slip down into here, into this little outside pouch is where I keep a map. Now this is a large map. This one is for the Adirondacks. That's essentially where I do most of my hiking. So I always take a large topographical map for the area that I'm going into, and I'll keep that right down there. What I usually do is print off a small A4 sized map of that particular trail or just that area that we're hiking in. My compass will always be in my pocket, so it's not in my pack, it'll be in my pocket, along with my printed off A4 map of the area. This map here is for emergencies. 9 times out of 10, like I say, I'll just have the small printed off A4 section of the area we're going into. So that saves getting out the map, unfolding a large map, plotting where you were, finding where you were, etc, etc. So I'll just use the A4 one. Okay, so we'll go from top to bottom. So the top of the pack, I'll keep small items. I could put my sunglasses, keep them in there so they're easily accessible. But what I'll normally keep in here is a small bag with snacks and food. Normally nutrition bars, Cliff bars, a little bag of almonds, anything to munch on, extra food and nutrition throughout the day. If it's summertime and it's a hot day, rather than take a cooking kit and hot food, I'll probably just make a sandwich and put a sandwich in this bag as well, so it'll just be at the top there. That's the food essentially at the top of the pack. So going into the pack then, right at the very top here, underneath the lid in this little zip section here, I keep a rain cover. If it starts to rain, take that out, put it over the pack and help to keep the contents dry. Now not all packs are 100% waterproof. In fact, I don't know of any pack that is 100% waterproof. Water and moisture will get into your pack if it's raining, even with a rain cover on. So a tip is everything that you want to keep dry inside your pack, put them in waterproof bags within your pack. That'll help keep them dry. Right at the top here, I'll keep my flask. Hot coffee or hot soup will go in there. If I take my jet boil and my boil in the bag meals, I'll swap the jet boil, swap the flask for the jet boil, so I can boil the water right there and then and make the brew as I'm sat there with the jet boil. This is just for hot sunny days in the summer when I'm taking a sandwich, I'm not really making any hot food. I'll just whack a brew in here, and then when I stop, I can have a brew at the summit, or when we get back to the trailhead, or whatever. The fact that it's a metal flask as well also helps. It's part of the 10 essentials, a metal container, so if I end up in a survival situation, I've got a metal container that I can boil water in. So that's right on the top. The next thing that's right on the top, that's not within a waterproof bag because it doesn't need to be, is my waterproof jacket. Gore-Tex jacket, right on the top. If it starts to rain, obviously I take my pack off, open it up, that's right on the top, pull the jacket out, jacket goes on. It's right on the top, like I said, it's not within one of the waterproof bags in here because it's kind of pointless doing that. And if you were to do that, that means if you get caught in a sudden downpour and you have to go inside there to get your waterproof jacket out, then some of that rain is going to get into your waterproof bag, thus making it pointless having a waterproof bag to keep your essential items dry in the first place. Another item that I keep just close to the top and down the side of the pack here is a poop kit. Now, we're all out there in the wilderness and sometimes nature calls. So what I keep in here is a little shovel for the obvious, when I do a shovel recce, toilet paper, some dog poop bags, and some hand sanitizer in there. All those items kind of speak for themselves. The dog poop bags is not to carry out my poop, it's to carry out my used toilet paper. I don't want to be burying that anywhere out there because it's not a natural thing that you should be leaving, you know, out in the wilderness. So that's the poop kit. So now we're going into the main part of the bag. As you can see here, there's a bag. I'm going to take the bag out because that will make it easier getting the items out up here. So as you can see, it's a waterproof bag within the actual backpack. So what we have in here then are more waterproof bags. So what I've got right at the top is a smaller waterproof bag. And as you can see here, I've got some green tape on the top. Now that's just a personal thing for me. I've got 4 of these yellow waterproof bags in here, and I want to know where certain items are. So what I've done, it's like I said, it's just a personal thing, you don't have to do it, is I've colour coded my bags. The green means go, so this is my go-to bag. In other words, there's items in here that I'm highly likely to be using throughout the day. So, such as for the summer especially, sunblock and lip balm, a lightweight fleece for if it gets a little bit chilly. I can take that on and off as I'm going along throughout the day. Essential item for summer hiking, especially in the Adirondacks and here in southern Ontario, bug spray. I could probably do with some of that now actually. Excuse me. A bug hat. I just keep it in a small bag that used to be for stereo headphones. Keep that in there. A buff. Normally I'll hike in a hat like this, keep the sun out of my eyes, but a buff can be used for a lot of different things. Again, I'll do more videos on the individual items, but just for now I'm going to show you what I'm taking in the pack. And it's in another plastic bag, so this is extremely waterproofed, is a head torch, spare batteries, and an extra handheld flashlight, again with spare batteries. That's in Ziploc bag, kept in my go-to bag. So that's the go-to, the items that I'm highly likely to use throughout the day. This time of year, it's now late October, the days are getting shorter, so the chances are when I'm on a 10 plus hour hike, it's going to be dark either at the beginning of the hike, depending on what time we start, or at the end of the hike. So that's why the head torch and the flashlight will be in there to be grabbed as and when needed. Just here then is quite obviously a first aid kit, one of your 10 essentials. That's kept towards the top of the pack, because if you need it throughout the day, I don't want to be rummaging through to try and find a first aid kit. It's right there at the top, easily accessible. Okay, and the next bag that I have here, as you can see, this one's got the blue tape on it, and blue is like it's a wet colour. So this is my wet weather and windy weather items. So here I've got a small windproof jacket. This is, trust me, this is a jacket. It's excellent in windy conditions. We was on Cascade and Porter Mountains 2 years ago in November. It was minus 22 with the wind chill. I threw this on and I couldn't feel the wind on my upper body at all. Absolutely excellent. And it's light, and as you can see, compressible, so it hardly takes up any room at all. So a little windproof jacket. Also in here, like I said, it's the wet weather bag, so gaiters. And the last item in the wet weather bag is waterproof trousers. So again, the waterproof jacket will be the essential thing that's at the top of the pack. The waterproof trousers are not as essential. If the forecast is for rain for that day, then I may move these to the top of the pack. But if it's just forecast for sun with a little chance of showers, then I'll just put it a bit further down the pack, because the chances are I'm not going to use them, but they're there if I need to. So that's the blue. The next one then, orange. Orange is a warm colour, so this is my extra warm kit that we have in here, starting with woolly hat, gloves, an extra fleece. Again, it's just a 100 weight fleece. I think this might be 200 weight, but again, not a big thick chunky fleece, but an extra one, because I like to take 2 lighter weight fleeces as opposed to 1 thick one, so I can either wear 2 if it gets really cold. If I start to warm up, take one off. Spare socks. You never know, you need to change your socks. And a down jacket. And the down jacket, the fleece, I still take those even if I'm hiking in the summer. This is 3-season pack that I'm showing you now. So yes, I do take a down jacket, I do take an extra fleece, because like I said, worst case scenario, you get stuck in a situation where you're going to be outdoors overnight. The temperature can drop dramatically, especially if you're up in the mountains. So always be prepared. So that's the orange for the warm kit. Right at the bottom of the pack then, and as you've noticed, this wasn't in the main waterproof bag. This bag is at the bottom of the bag by itself. At the bottom of the pack there's a zip, so I can access the bottom of the pack if and when I need to. And right at the bottom then is the last bag, and as you can see it's colour coded red for danger. So this essentially is the bag that I never want to use when I'm out hiking. I want to put this in the bottom of my pack, and I hope that it stays there until I return and put my kit away. So what's in here then is all my emergency gear. I've got a roll of duct tape in there. In here I've got string. There's about 60 to 70 foot of paracord in here, and some bank line, strong string, not that rubbish white string that you can get in the dollar stores and the pound stores. If you're going to carry string in your kit, make sure you get the good stuff. Paracord is by far the best cordage you can take with you, so that goes in the emergency bag along with this is a little fire lighting kit. And what I've got in here is numerous items. The main item that I'll use is a lighter, the easiest thing, but lighters always fail on you. That one didn't, which is good, so it still works, but they could fail on you, especially in damp conditions and in the winter months. They can freeze, etc, etc. Waterproof matches and a ferro rod and steel. So there you've got three items to make fire with. And in here, this is just a little tinder box. In here I've got some pre-made char cloth, some petroleum jelly soaked cotton wool balls, and dryer lint. Dryer lint is a good form of tinder, so I've got various bits of tinder that are kept in there in the fire lighting kit. So again, in here I have a small bivy bag, emergency bivy. It's reflective. Like I said, this is it's emergency stuff that I've never used and hope I never will. That's the emergency bivy bag there. And then the actual my shelter kit itself. So what I've got in here is a tarp and pegs. So again, right there's about 70 to 80 foot of paracord wrapped around the tarp. The tarp's an orange, it's waterproof tarp, it's orange, so I can easily be seen. I did have an old military tarp from my army days which was camouflaged, and I don't want to be camouflaged if I'm in an emergency situation. I actually want to be seen. So bright orange. I've got the paracord there, and inside here also is a ground sheet to lay on the ground to keep me insulated, and pegs. These are just lightweight plastic pegs. Yes, you can use branches from the trees, assuming of course that you're in an area that has trees. There are certain areas like Dartmoor, for example, in the UK, there's not a lot of trees there. And as I said at the beginning of the video, if you're willing to carry it, there's nothing wrong with taking it. So that then is the emergency colour-coded red bag with the emergency shelter kit in it. I think that about covers it for all these items. And like I said, this is a 3-season setup, so spring, summer and autumn. I'll do another video in the winter to show what extra items I'll take on a winter hike, such as extra kit, snowshoes, crampons, micro spikes, etc, etc. and I'll do a video on what I'll take when I'm going on a short day hike. So as I said in the beginning, the length of the hike, where you were going on the hike, and the season will determine for me what size pack I use and what I pack in it. As I've said, this is my bog standard setup for long day hikes deep into the wilderness in the Adirondacks. I've got all the 10 essentials covered, and if I was to end up in an emergency situation where I needed to stay for an unplanned night outside, I've got my shelter system here and my fire lighting kit. I can easily spend a comfortable night outdoors. And also, as I've mentioned before, some things that I may swap out depending on the situation. I would swap a water filter for extra water bottles if I'm in an area where there are no reliable water sources. And also, I could swap my flask for my jet boil. If I want to take a hot meal with us, if it's in the winter, for example, don't want to have a sandwich, you want to have a hot meal, I won't take my flask because I can boil the water, boil in the bag, use the boiling water to then make a brew with the jet boil. So those things I would swap out. I think that pretty much covers it. It does seem like a lot of kit here, but I can guarantee you that the bag doesn't weigh that much at all. As I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not one of these people that gets a weight and measure and weighs the kit and thinks, oh, that weighs too much, I'm not carrying that. I'm perfectly happy carrying all these items that I've got here, and I feel safe, comfortable, confident, should I say, with the gear that I've got, in that if I need to spend a night outdoors, that I can do comfortably. So all the 10 essentials are covered, as I've said. One thing that some of you may or may not have picked up on is the fact that nowhere here do I have a knife, which is an essential item, probably the most essential item that you would take with you in your kit. And the reason that the knife isn't amongst this lot is because this is what goes in my pack. I'm not one of these people that thinks that you throw your knife in your pack and you've got a knife there if you need it, because if for some bizarre reason you end up separated from your pack, you lose your pack for whatever reason, I don't know, but it could happen, then your knife's gone as well. Your fire lighting kit's gone, your shelter kit's gone, but the most important thing would be your knife. You could, with the right knowledge, make fire with a knife, make shelter with the help of a knife. So what I always do is the knife will be right there on my belt. So if I do get separated from the pack, I've always got my knife with us. So thanks for watching. I hope this was interesting for you. I'm not a YouTube superstar. I'm just a hiker. I'm an outdoors guy, and I'm just trying to share my experience, my knowledge of hiking with you guys. As I've said, nothing is right or wrong. This is just a video to maybe give you some tips. Maybe there's something you've seen that you think, I don't need to take that. Maybe there's something you haven't seen that I should be taking. If you have, then please comment on the video and let me know. But what I can guarantee you is that everything on this table that I pack into my pack, there is nothing here that I look at and I think, I don't really need to take that. I would never think, I don't really need to take that. Always take the essential items with you. And as I said in the beginning, if you're willing to carry it, then go ahead and carry it. There is no right or wrong size pack to take. There's no right or wrong items to take with you. Remember, good tip, Waterproof bags. Your pack isn't a waterproof pack. Water, moisture will get in that pack if you get stuck in a downpour. So all your essential items that you want to keep dry, like your down jacket, your fleece, your spur socks, the items that you want to keep dry, waterproof bag, and I put all them within another waterproof bag, so there's no way they're going to get wet in a downpour. So thanks for watching. The next video hopefully will be one of us hiking when we're back in the mountains, hopefully next week. Or maybe we'll look back at some of the old footage that we've got from previous hikes and whack one of those up. So again, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, find us on Facebook, comment, share our videos, and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thanks again.